It's a hazy shade of winter. Do you remember that song, Hazy Shade of Winter, by Simon and Garfunkel, written by Paul Simon? Well, this is more positive a painting than the song is. The song is, look around, leaves are brown. There's another line in it, seasons change with the scenery, weave in time in a tapestry, won't you stop and remember me? Yeah. Well, he was a young man. You know how young people are when they write songs. And it's just the way it is. But anyway, this was a quick one. This took about a half hour to paint. And it didn't need to. I probably could have done it in 15 minutes, I think. And so could you. I think the reason it took longer is because I didn't know what I was doing. I was kind of making it up as I went along. But anyway, hopefully you like this one. And so let's just get started. Not a whole lot to say in this intro, so here we go. Okay, let's get started with this one. This is a blue on blue on blue. That's the intent today. Lots of blue. Lots of blue and white. Blue and white and black. How about we look at it that way? So I'm just going to wet the paper, not really soaking wet like I do sometimes, but just get it like damp. You spread the water. You probably can't see the water that well on the camera, but just kind of spreading it everywhere except from the very bottom. Just let it soak in a little bit. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Alright, let's go ahead and add some blues. I just want to keep white in the middle, I think. I guess we'll go from light to dark. Let's try this one here. Looks like a light one. Just kind of let it do its thing. I want to experiment a little bit with watercolor. I feel like I'm always experimenting, always seeing what it does, and then trying to learn from what it does to take it to some other level. Kind of like an inventor, when an inventor first came up with the idea of electricity or the automobile or the combustion engine. They probably, once they were successful with one idea, they said, well, what would happen if? That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. And it's kind of what I'm trying to do a lot of times. I think there's a part of me that is truly an illustrator, not an artist so much. And so the illustrator in me always wants to make a picture of something. A picture of a car or a person or a dog or anything. And then sometimes I look at other people's art and I say, wow, it's almost abstract, but it looks like. In fact, I'll give you an example. I can't show it to you, but in the doctor's office where I go, there are some paintings on the wall that are abstract. And as you wait for the doctor to come into the office, as I wait, I stare at the picture and I say, oh, I see a bridge in there. Oh, I see some trees. Oh, and little by little I start to see things in the abstract painting that maybe it's not so abstract after all. Or is it? Is it just me? Am I seeing these things, Do you ever have that happen? Where you wonder if it's, when you're looking at an abstract painting and all of a sudden it looks like something that's not abstract. It's just you. You're seeing things. Seeing things. So that's just one thought I had on this subject. A little bit darker here, I think. move some stuff around here because I want this to be the foreground. So I am thinking in terms of an illustration. I'm just trying to lay the groundwork by just putting in some blues, and we'll see where it takes us, you know. Let it dry. Let it dry and be its thing, do its own thing. Can you see it already? Can you sort of see what my vision is here? Just trying to put some blues down. All blues. Blues and blacks, I guess, is the best way to say it. Because I want some darks in here too. And then down here. Get this super dark. Let that water keep spreading the paint. Let it keep spreading. Just a mixture of the different blues here. And again, let the water do its thing. I'm just having fun. This is just me having fun, I think. Sometimes it's just fun to play with the paint. Just let it kind of have a mind of its own. I have so many people who are interested in the cards. I feel like when the cards are finally donated to the church, there's going to be a few people who want a few cards. So I don't have a whole lot of one subject, you know. But a lot of people like, for example, the church card. And a lot of people like the... did I do a Santa Claus one? Yeah, I did a Santa Claus one the other day. A lot of people like that one. Oh boy. And did I tell you I got in trouble for the witch one? Oh yeah, I did. Not real trouble, but just everybody wasn't, like, I used a witch painting to help advertise a trunk or treat event. Did I tell you this already, maybe yesterday? Yeah. I had to change the picture. The church themselves, they were okay with it. They didn't think it meant anything, like symbolic of anything. But I was just showing trick or treat for the kids. You know, a safe place to go ask them for candy. That's all it was for me. But some people didn't like the idea that I was associating a witch with a church event. So I had to change it. Yeah. Yeah, that was... And then I apologized. I mean, to be honest with you, the pastor was fine. Everybody who was like in control, like managing the church, I don't know what you call it. I think religion is an interesting business because you got to be careful. But I didn't know. I was just helping, you know, trying to spread the word. That's all my years in radio. That's what the job is, really, is to help spread the word about things. You know, whether it's an event happening in town or an election coming up, or you know, a storm approaching. The whole job is to get the word out about stuff. And so I was trying to help spread the word about this event where kids can go trick-or-treating in the parking lot of the church. And the people getting out the candy are all members of the church, and they all got their trunks decorated and their cars, and you can dress up and you can have fun. Oh, but I put a witch in there. Oh. Some people didn't like it, put it that way. So I changed it. You know what I changed it to? I changed it to bowls of candy. Bowls of candy. So, you know, if you think about it, a bowl of candy is pretty unhealthy. Right? If you eat the whole bowl, that's not good. All right. You can already see this is a landscape, right? Some kind of a foggy, backgroundy landscape. Well, that's what I wanted. I wanted that bright spot in the middle. I wanted some bright snow over here in the foreground. And now I have to let it dry. So I will be right back after it's dry. All right, well, now it's dry, and it's actually slightly wet. A little bit damp. But that's okay. Now I want to do the more defined things. So, whereas this part was wet on wet, basically. Now I want to do kind of wet on dry or whatever. Just make some trees here. That's all I want to do. Get some trees. Some foreground trees. Just keep working it. I'll probably use some gouache to put some snow on the trees. Not sure yet. Not sure. There we go. That looks good. Let's paint in the trees. You can see it's still wet. It's spreading a little bit, which I don't really want, but well, it's okay if it spreads on the back of the card, I guess. Gosh, I thought I dried it already. I thought I dried it enough. Well, that's not what I had in mind right there. It's still wet. Get a smaller brush in a second. we go. Let's put another one over here. Get this water down a little bit. Put like a mid-ground tree in. I wouldn't mind being in this place. This just looks like a nice place to be. I don't know where this might be, but doesn't it look like a Well, maybe you live in a place like this. I don't know, but I don't. So since I don't live there, since I don't live in a place that will ever look like this, it makes me want to go to a place like this. Maybe that's why people come to Florida, because I live in a place that doesn't look like where you live, or where they live. They want to come here. I'll tell you this, though. I know everybody comes here for Disney, and Disney's great. No complaints from me about Disney, except for the length of the lines. But, a lot of people are okay with that, too. But my thing is this. If you're coming to Florida, try to make a point to see the forests and the Everglades. Try to make a point to see some of those things. They're really beautiful. They really are. A lot of people call that the real Florida. And it is. So try to see the real Florida, Not that there's anything wrong with the theme parks. I'm not one of those that bashes the theme parks, except for sometimes the price and all that. But as far as the parks themselves, the experience, they're fun. Especially great memories with the kids, But when you come to Florida, and maybe I do the same thing, maybe like when I go to a place like this, maybe I make the same mistakes. Maybe I go to the attractions instead of going out into the woods. Go out into the woods and see what's out there. All right, now I'm overdoing it. I'm overthinking this. Let me get a small brush and do some very small branches. I hope I can do that. Lots of small branches. No, that brush is too big. Let me get a very small brush. Just tiny little lines. Yeah, like that. Try to make this part make sense now. It's a little bit too crowded with paint. I don't want it to be spooky. I just want it to be pretty. I guess the same thing that makes a Halloween picture look spooky. That's what I'm doing, but it's not my intent. It's very, very, very... Let's put some little things down here. It's already done, really. It really looks done to me. Maybe I should stop. Whoa. That's a wet line right there. Let me grab some of that water and drag it around. It's like a river. It's like a river of black paint right there. It's actually dark blue. Dark blue paint. The two trees are touching each other. Maybe that's symbolic of something. They're reaching out across the divide. The trees are reaching out across the divide and touching each other. Yeah, they're connecting. They're making a statement. Maybe they're wishing each other happy Christmas. Maybe they're saying to each other, "How you doing over there, friend?" Or maybe one is the child of the other. Or maybe it's the same tree. Have you ever heard that the two trees, what looks like two trees, can actually be the same tree? Have you ever heard that? That the root system underground is the same. So what you're looking at looks like more than one tree, but you're looking at the other part of the same tree. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Who used to say that? Very interesting. Alright, I think I'm going to say that's done. I say that, and then I'm going to add another branch right here. Slightly bigger than that, just a little. Just to connect with that right there. All right, I think I like that. Now, the only thing I want to do I'll take some gouache. White gouache. There we go. A little tiny bit. Let's get a little snow line on here. A little bit of white on the edge. Like that. Just get that reflection on there. This side of the tree also. Maybe some snow has hit the tree and stuck to the side of it. Maybe some of these limbs have little bits of snow on them. Yeah, see, now it's looking like there's still a snow in there. And even though behind it is almost looks like white, it's not quite white. So this little bit of snow, or a little bit of white paint, creates the illusion of snow. I hope you can see it. It's kind of nice, kind of fun. And pretty, fun and pretty. Here we go. There. Alright, let me just spread around the paint on the back of the card. I can lift that whole white piece of paint. It doesn't need to be there. Just spread it around. So hopefully, with this particular video, I have shown you something fun and easy. I know sometimes that's what we want, well, we always want fun. And we don't, sometimes you don't want easy. Sometimes you want to challenge yourself. So I hopefully this challenges you and also gives you an opportunity to have fun. And obviously I made some mistakes on here. And I don't think there's one painting I've ever done where I didn't make mistakes. It's just the way it is. There's always a mistake. And as Bob Ross used to say, a happy accident. So let me let this dry, and I'll be right back to fold it over. Let's see what it looks like as a card. I'll be right back. All right, it's dry now. And I kind of like the way the blue looks on the back too. Okay, let's see what it looks like as a folded card. Yeah, well, that's not bad. That's kind of pretty. Kind of a pretty scene. All right, well, thank you for watching. That was fun. Yeah, I should do more of them. All right, you guys take care. Bye.